Hi, I'm Ranj, the bearded plumber. Thanks for joining me on this video. Basically in this video what I'm going to be doing is stripping down a Vaillant Ecofit combi boiler. The Vaillant Ecofit is basically the Glowworm Energy in the UK and also the Vaillant Ecotech Pure. Although the Ecotech Pure still has the outside casing and the cover of an Ecotech Plus or a Pro. But the heat exchanger is the aluminium version, which is the same that's in the Glowworm and Energy, and also the one over here in this country, the Vaillant Ecofit Pro. The reason why I have decided to do this video is because I am now going to be promoting and installing Vaillant combi boilers more over other brands. This is just, I like to, how should I explain it? I like to support all the manufacturers. When I moved to Amsterdam, and became the bearded plumber, I was mainly installing Intergas. After that, 2 years I've done Remea, and now this year, or end of 2020 and going into 2021, I am working with Vaillant, hence the merchandising. They've been after me for a little while and wanting me to work along with them. The reason why I'm working alongside Vaillant going forward is because as we know, it's a very reputable company. Their products are second to none. I shied away from the Ecotech because the market I work in is mainly a rental market for expats and landlords, and obviously the Ecotech, being a great machine, was a bit more costly compared to the other brands for a like-for-like performance. And finally I stumbled across the Ecofit range, which is still Vaillant. You get all the fantastic customer support from Vaillant. The price range is what I was looking for to get a 28 to 30 kilowatt boiler, because I don't fit anything less than a 28 or a 30 kilowatt hot water on the hot water side combi, because 24 for me just never is enough. The flow rate isn't great. So therefore I've always promoted 28 and above. Ecofit now comes at a great price range, and especially what makes me more excited about the boiler is that there is an expansion vessel built inside the boiler, which I know to a lot of people isn't a big deal, but being a British plumber myself and installer back in the UK, I'm so used to seeing an expansion vessel inside the boiler. Because most of my properties I work in are 1, maybe 2 bedroom apartments, they don't really need an 18 litre external expansion vessel, and the internal 7 to 8 litre should be sufficient. So yeah, these are the small reasons why I'm moving towards Vaillant going forward. And because I've never worked on this boiler, because it's such a new boiler, I wanted to strip it down myself just to see the ins and outs of what is actually inside the boiler. So this video I have basically, I'm going to be stripping down an Ecofit that I have purchased myself. It's a CW4 model, which basically means like it's 28-30 kilowatt. It's the one that I would be fitting in houses going forward. Basically in the video I'm going to be removing the burner, taking the expansion vessel out. I think, yeah, maybe I might take the expansion vessel out, and the plate heat exchanger, just to see how the parts come out, should there be a breakdown, and how easy it is for me to repair, because that is my sole business, maintenance and repair. And I want to know that I can service and repair this boiler in my sleep the way I can with Remea Avantas and the Remea range and the Intergas range and the Ecotech range. But this Ecofit, because it's a very new boiler to me, and before I start promoting it to my lovely customers here in Amsterdam, I want to make sure that I'm comfortable with the boiler, and if I'm comfortable I'll obviously then promote it. And yeah, and that's basically the reason behind this video and the reason why I'm moving forward with Vaillant. So yeah, let's get on with it, and I'll see you all in a bit. So yeah, so this is the Vaillant Ecofit Pro VUW 306-6-3 EXP, which has an expansion vessel built inside it. And I'm going to strip this open, and I am going to attempt to take the boiler completely apart just to see how well it can be repaired and maintained over the years to come. So here we are. Here's the Vaillant Ecofit Pro. Yeah, I think it looks very smart, very sleek, and very straight lines and straight edges. None of that curved cover that really isn't needed, and obviously that sort of stuff adds to the cost when you start
pressing metal in different shapes. But so what comes in the box is the boiler, installation manual, the bracket to hang the boiler on, and that's, I believe, the condense connector. And we get a set of washers, and then we get the connection pieces. So here we don't get isolation valves the way you guys do in the UK. Here it's to keep costs down, it's just the straight connections. So I can see 2 3/4 to 22, which would, I believe, be for the heating circuit, 2 3/4 to 15mm, which would be the hot and cold, and then a 1/2 inch to 15mm, which I believe would be for gas. And I'm just having a quick look at the underside of the boiler, and yep, yeah, that's correct. That's exactly what it is. And also, so let me move this out of the way. And here in this country, as you know, in the Netherlands, we normally do 80mm twin flue system. So this one would be for the air out, and this one would be for the air in. So it comes, I've noticed, as not connected to the boiler, because I believe, obviously depending on how you order the boiler, you can either order it twin flue, 80mm, or you could order it as the concentric flue, which would be 60/100 and then 80/125. So that's most likely why this comes disconnected. And yeah, that's the flue connector. And on the underside of the boiler, this is what you get. You have got, so it's very similar to what you probably have in the UK. 3/4, that's 3/4 as well, so all 3/4 connections. So heating return, cold water in, hot water out, flow out, and then this one is for the gas. And they've given us a extra red bung, which I actually like, because normally these are missing from, when you start putting the room thermostat cables in, people usually remove them and they don't keep it room sealed. So yeah, I'm quite chuffed that they give that extra. Condense trap, and then the PRV. That's another reason why I like this boiler, because it has a PRV built in. I know the Rumia Tezera also has it built in, but the Rumia Avanta doesn't. So it's extra work to make sure you don't forget to put the PRV on the system. And I like that the Vaillant comes with the PRV for it. And yeah, this is all good. I'm so far happy with it. And then we have Torx connections to take the cover off. Right, let's do that. So to take the cover off, I'm going to be using my Weiros bits and little screwdriver. So that's that. And I believe it looks like a T20. So let's get the T20 here somewhere. I believe that's the one there. That T20, yes it is. And yep, it is T20. So let's take that off. It's a nice, solid, sturdy cover. Do like that. And yeah, here we have it. The Vaillant Ecofit Pro. And just by looking at it, I like it. So yeah, the reason why I'm going to go down the route of this boiler, of installing this boiler for my customers now, is because the side panels come off. You're completely able to get to the boiler internally, to every single part, without it being cumbersome and in the way. And yeah, so just to quickly walk through it, from what I can see, condense trap, plate heat exchanger, PRV, cold water flow switch would be here somewhere, diverter valve, Grundfos pump, AAV, return temperature sensor, flow temperature sensor, water pressure switch, obviously PCB, moving up the boiler, expansion vessel, which is nice and small, and I think it's quite cute, it fits in quite well. So yeah, like I said, you can buy the same boiler without the expansion vessel if you needed a larger capacity expansion vessel, but for the average 2-bedroom apartment, this is more than ample. Flue collector, air intake on the fan, nice little fan. That's a very small fan, I haven't seen one that size before, but yeah, small fan, gas valve, ignition transformer, ignition electrodes on the side there, and the main aluminium heat exchanger back there. So let's start stripping the boiler and taking it to pieces. So I believe we'll start with the air intake. That comes off like that. Yeah, pretty standard plastic air intake. Let's put it under the table there. And then let's remove the flue collector. And that, I believe, we unclip here and pull up. Yep, that comes off there. Oh, that rubber's come off. Let's slide that back on. Yep, cool. And then I think we've got the expansion vessel, which I can remove, which has 2 screws on the top again. I like it how all the screws, most of them so far, are the same. So it's not like you got 100 different screws, which will make putting it back together easy. Fiber washer, and voila, nice little expansion vessel. So it is, does it say, 0.75 pre-charge, which is good, that's normal, but it doesn't say the capacity on it. I think by looking at it, it looks like a 7, maybe an 8 litre expansion vessel. I'll find out and I'll definitely get back to you guys. I'll get in touch with my rep and find that out for you guys. So yeah, that's now making more space inside there. Gas valve. Let's remove this, remove this. So that looks good. I like it how the fiber washer is actually seated into something and not likely to drop off. I am assuming that we've got to undo that over there, those bolts. So to open them up, I'm going to use my Wera Mini 2 kit, I think. Yep, 10mm. So the 10mm goes onto that. This one's a bit tight, but maybe this is why we need to remove the side panel, I think. So I'll go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, wow. That comes away nice and easily. So yeah, I like how the side panels come off. That is definitely a plus point. And I think obviously only because I'm stripping it apart right now, otherwise I don't think you actually have to take the thing off completely. Oh, I think you need to loosen that one just a little bit more. Wow, that's really nice. So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to maintenance. I've been told that you only need to actually clean the main heat exchanger every 5 years, unless obviously something is drastically wrong or your combustion is completely off. And every time that you open it, you have to change the red seal and the graphite seal to make sure it's all safe. My sales rep has already given me the gasket kit. I told him I want to be stripping the boiler apart, and he was like, well, in that case I better send you one of these so you can put this in and make it 100% safe again. So thank you, Vaillant Netherlands. And hopefully, actually on that note, just to let you guys know, Vaillant Netherlands should hopefully be getting an Instagram page soon. I've spoken to my current rep and my previous rep that, hey guys, how comes we don't have a Vaillant Instagram page for the Netherlands? And they told me that they will look into it definitely after I've made this video. And I was like, cool, so therefore hopefully they get onto it as well. And yeah, so nice little fan, gas valve. Well, I'm gonna go and fit Vaillants over the Romeo Tezera, although this, like I said, this is very much similar to Romeo Tezera. The Romeo Tezera is a very small boiler. It's very compact. It's nice that it's small, but you know, when you got big hands, it can be quite tricky to get your hands into tight spaces and do the repair. And also, what I don't like more than anything else is that if the gas valve fails, on the Ramiya Tezera, you have to buy the complete air unit, which is a motherboard, fan, gas valve, and that obviously is a very expensive component just for one component that failed. It's not like the whole thing failed, or vice versa. If the fan fails, then you've got to buy the whole air unit again, and that really put me off because I had 2 repairs where I had to do that, and I felt, I don't know, I was really upset that the customer had to pay for everything when only one component had failed. Hence why I want to go down the route of doing Vaillant, because you know you can buy each component separately, which is the way it should really be. So yeah, let's take out the plate heat exchanger first. But I think I need a bigger screwdriver because it's too short. So yeah, now I'm going to use the Wera 816RA ratchet to undo the plate. The plate heat exchanger is right in the front and nicely accessible, because obviously when the plate does need descaling or cleaning, it's right in the front and easily accessible. And also I love the fact that the screws for it are Torx and not hexagon Allen keys, because obviously you get better grip with Torx, provided you use the right bit. And the plate heat exchanger, 20 plates, like a 30 kilowatt plate heat exchanger. Jacking out the side there. PRVs on the side, I believe that would be a simple case of just removing the clip and out pops the PRV. What else? So yeah, the temperature sensors are just there, they just clip off and clip on. I love it how there's no rubber inside this boiler. It's all copper, and the plastic, yeah, okay. And another thing that I wasn't really happy with for all the years of being a heating engineer was obviously plastic components. However, in truth be told, that in all the years of me being a heating engineer, I've never actually had to replace any composite plastic parts on a Vaillant, funnily enough. So it gives me a bit more assurity that yeah, their plastic is probably made to a better grade and better quality. I've also noticed that, once I get my finger out, Jesus Christ. As you can see, there's a plastic gauze filter just there inside the hydro block. So I believe that's like the canoe filter in the older Ecotech. So it's good to know that that's there. So just in case anybody didn't know, there is a filter just there. So that's something to check out. And yeah, so like I was saying, inside here is a flow turbine, which I can see, and that's obviously for your cold water flow turbine that would activate the hot water. So that's good to know. And this is the only reason why I'm stripping this boiler apart, just so I can get more familiar with it, because it's not, I don't come across many of these, and I want to know how I got to repair it, if should I need to repair it. Diverter valve I'm not really going to take out, because yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's just 2 Torx screws there, and I believe they'll probably just pop that out. Pump, for this particular model, you don't need to buy the complete pump housing. You can buy just the pump head, which is fantastic. Again, another plus point, because again, I know I keep on saying this, I don't mean to make it sound bad, but the Ramiya Tezera, you got to again buy the whole hydro block at the bottom, which again, it's not fair for the end user who has to buy the whole thing when they don't really need it. And yeah, let's have a look inside the main heat. Yeah, I'm not going to strip it any further, because it's just the plastic hydro block there, plastic hydro block there. But the AAV looks the same as Vaillant have always used in the last few years. And the condense trap is meant to be a different one as well, that it's not the same. So basically it's a twist and pull out typey with a baffle, and you're going to make sure that the baffle goes back in. So yeah, baffle back in, just there and on the side, and in that goes, twist, and obviously the plastic rubber hose would go there. And yeah, I think that sums it pretty much up. Let's have a quick look at the PCB. Let's open this bit up here and this bit up here. So there's the PCB. This particular model doesn't come with open therm. It's only on-off technology for the thermostat. So should the customer or me personally want to fit it on open therm technology, I would then have to buy a module that attaches to the PCB to make it open therm. I'll see if that is something that I want to do, but for now I'm just happy to just put it on off with a smart programmable thermostat like a Honeywell T6 or a Tado, and I'm pretty sure that will do the job. But yeah, so there's a little display PCB and then the main PCB, and it looks, what I like is that the PCB is so small and compact, not like the bigger ones in the Ecotech. So yeah, this actually does look smart, and I think I'm going to put the boiler back together again now. I think it takes 10 minutes to strip down, and that is, you know, quick. That's the gas pipe there, and yeah, I don't know what else. Oh, what else? One other thing that I do want to talk about is this bit down here. That is the automatic bypass. That's another thing, or another reason why I am opting to go for this boiler, or again a Vaillant, because Vaillant have an automatic bypass in their boiler. Especially with houses that have TRVs, and here people want TRVs on every single radiator, and I'm constantly going to jobs where the boiler's overheating. People really don't know what the issue is because there's no automatic bypass, obviously restricting the flow off the boiler. Neither Romea, neither Intergas, I don't even think Bosch, neither of these boilers have the inbuilt bypass. So that's again another extra component we've got to fit. Vaillant have already sussed it out that, you know what, we need a bypass, and irregardless whether you got TRVs or not on a system, there should always be a bypass. So that's another massive plus point for me, to have a boiler that has a bypass pre-built inside it. So, you know, I'm not a salesman. I'm just opening up a boiler to show you why. Because I know I'm always promoting and loving the Romea Avanta, which is still one of my favorite boilers. I do still love it. I have to love it because there's so many of them in Amsterdam that I'll be fixing them for all the years going ahead. But, you know, for my personal installations, I want to install something that can be repaired in my sleep, basically, and this definitely is the boiler that I can do that with. Just what I've noticed also is, I believe once you remove the condense connector there and pull this clip out here and get the return out of there, and the flow disconnected down here first, and then undo that, push it up and pull it out. Once the flow and returns out, there's just the 4 Torx screws on the sides, and then that's your main heat exchanger out as well. So, you know, I think this is the boiler that I've been looking for to go forward with, and yeah, let's put it back together. There's the burner. So yeah, nice little gauzy burner. And also, what I've been told by my sales rep is that, oh, this is actually fantastic. Sorry, before I carry on, again, I just love that every screw on this boiler is a Torx 20. That, let me just check, is it every? Yeah, every screw on this boiler is a Torx 20. Like, wow. No more posi screwdriver or posi screws to get their heads messed up. And that ignition electrode looks very similar to a Romea's one. Like I said, this boiler really much to me reminds me of a Romea Tezera. It looks good, and what I've also been told is that when it comes to opening up the main heat exchanger from the burner end and to do a strip service, number one, we need to change the graphite and the red rubber silicone seal, and also inside here you really don't need to put a brush down it, you just flush it with water, which again just makes life easier for us engineers who are servicing and maintaining. That it's again less things to carry going into a house or a property on the 4th blooming floor and being made tired by carrying heavy gear. So yeah, I'll put the burner back in a bit. So plate heat exchanger, again, what I do like about this plate heat exchanger, you can't really put it in the wrong way, because obviously there's screws that are higher and then the screws that are low. The lower ones are a bit off the edge, so therefore the plate can only go like that, which is again another plus point. And yeah, this boiler, just servicing and repairing this boiler, as you've seen, I've literally stripped it apart with just, you know, I didn't even need to use the little one, that was just, that came to my hand, but just a ratchet screwdriver and a 6-inch bucko, that's the 9029 6-incher, and that's all I've needed to strip this boiler apart. And yeah, and okay, you could probably even say you need a 4mm, maybe a 3.5mm flathead to pry the retaining clips out. Oh, that's a bit tight in there, so let's put it with the magnet. And that's another thing I've just noticed, the screws are magnetic, so that's another fantastic plus point, because a lot of the time they're not, and then you got to use Boss White or something to just like make it make a screwdriver bit a bit sticky. And yeah, I think it's just plus points all the way around, to be honest. That's that. There's the main heat exchanger, looking down it and inside. So let's put the expansion vessel in now. So that's that. That goes slides in there. This boiler, they've definitely given it some thought. It comes to show that they've really thought about it and thought on how to make it more engineer friendly, and it clearly shows. I'm definitely sold. It's certainly the boiler that I'm going to be fitting, just to make it easier for myself going forward in service and repair of it. PRV, which I'll just pop back like that, like that. That goes straight down there. Oh, maybe it was easier to actually do that with the plate out, but okay, no worries. We will manage. That goes in there, there you go, nicely secure. That can go down. Here's the bit that we need to change. So like I said, I'm going to change it because I've been told we need to, even though it's not been used. But I just don't you know, want to risk causing a problem. It's nice that they've still got the graphite similar, or a seal made out of graphite as to the Ecotex. It's like maybe a Vaillant trademark. I like that. And they give a set of bolts, the front bolts, and I think these are the rear. Yes, that's there for the rear bolts. Gas for the gas valve, a new fiber washer. Pretty self-explanatory, just follow the curvature. That goes in there. Yep. And this one, I believe, goes like so. Or was it the other way? It was actually the other way. So I was explaining it. The red silicone seal, it's basically domed and curved one way and curved inwards the other way. I've forgotten convex and concave, but yeah, it's basically convex and concave, but I've forgotten which way is which. But anyway, the way that the dome is upwards, when it's curved upwards, that is what faces upwards. And also I've noticed there's a number 3, which obviously, just to let you know, just face it upwards and fit the gasket back in. We have the burner plate. So obviously the burner plate is going to sit like that, so therefore that just goes there. Oh, actually, I might have just noticed something. So what I do like is that they've got these 2 holes, and they basically help align the burner back in to position. I will put it on its bottom. Let's put this down. So the bolts are all tightened. It was definitely easier for me to tighten them with the boiler upright because I couldn't really see and get to the bolts. That's that done. And now to tighten this up. There you go, that's that bit done. Then we've got the gas valve connection and the fan connection. What else is left? I think that is the boiler almost put back together, and all we got left is the flue collector. Let's put that on first. So yep, that goes basically in back in this direction. That goes in there. Clip. The only one screw that looks different from the other ones is this one. However, it's still a T20 head on it, and that goes up here. Last but not least, so also I can show you that is a CLV one-way diaphragm, so that if you've, that's another fantastic thing about this boiler, as it comes pre-installed. It's not an optional item as other manufacturers do it. They already have the Vaillant Ecofit, maybe even the Ecotex, but I know the Ecofit, this is one of the plus points, is that if you are fitting this particular model of a boiler in a block of flats, and it could be that they are using the same chimney and the same flue system and sharing it, obviously there'll be cross-contamination and backflow of products of combustion into your appliance, so hence why you need a CLV valve, which is basically a non-return valve, and it only opens in one direction. That is pre-fitted in the Vaillant Ecofit. So again, another plus point as to why I want to fit this boiler, but I need to now work out how this goes on. Oh, I think that's it. Yep. That slides up, slides in there, and that locks in. There you go. I think there's one last connection I need to tighten, which was this one. Also, this boiler comes pre-wired with here a European plug, so that's nice as well, that it's just simple plug and play, and obviously all you got to do is add your thermostat. So another thing I've noticed is there's a dedicated drain off for the heating circuit. That is fantastic. And the cold water, as you can see, has a mesh filter on it to prevent any debris going into the plate heat exchanger on the cold water side. But the heating circuit does not have any inbuilt filter other than the one that I showed you in the hydro block just back there. That's the only place they've actually got a canoe filter type filter in there. Alright, let's put the cover back on.
So I hope this video has been useful for you all. Now you can obviously see why I want to promote this boiler and push on it for my installations. There's a lot of benefits that this boiler has over rival companies. The built-in expansion vessel, the built-in bypass, the built-in TRV. These are just the small perks of the boiler that I really appreciate. On this note, I just want to say I'm not knocking any manufacturer. Intergas has its benefits. I do love an Intergas for the fact that it can be programmed to be just a heating only boiler, a hot water only boiler, like a instantaneous water heater. Intergas has its place as well, and I'm still a big Ramiya fan. I do love Ramiya, I'm not going to deny it. Especially as Ramiya is part of Baxi. Back in the UK, Baxi, Main, Potterton, these were one of the big companies that I used to work with and install their boilers all the time. So yeah, you know, Bosch, obviously being Bosch, yeah, I love them. However, the reason I don't promote Bosch too much is because they need sufficient static pressure to get their boiler working. And when you're working on the 3rd or 4th floor of Amsterdam in an apartment, you're not going to get the pressure, and that's why the Vaillant, the Ramiya, the Intergas, they are great because they can work on slightly lower pressure. You know, you only need about 1 bar, whereas Nefit and Bosch need at least 1.5, if not above. So that's quite annoying. Bosch, you know, they're very reliable boilers as well. I'm not here to say that Vaillant is the best in you know, I'm not here, you know, this is a completely unbiased review. I'm not sponsored by Vaillant. This video was to basically strip the boiler to see how good the boiler is for what we need it to do. And yeah, it's definitely a keeper. On that note, if you want me to make a video on other boilers, you know, let me know. I know that a lot of people do ask me for advice for Intergas, because obviously that's what I mainly work on here, because that's what Amsterdam is full of. And but yeah, I'm here to help, and like I've said before, you know, yeah, so please subscribe, hit like, and if you don't like the video, also feel free to hit the dislike button. But you know, if you're going to hit the dislike button, let's be constructive and let me know why you didn't like it, just so I can make improvements for next time. But yeah, I'm here to help, and like I've said before, I'm on Instagram. That's my main platform that I love using on a daily basis, doing my stories and posting what I've done in the day. But yeah, you can contact me via Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, and I'm here to help. And also my phone number is also at the end of the video if you want to WhatsApp me. And on that note, I wish you all a great day, and whatever you're doing, wherever you are, and always live long and prosper, guys. See you in the next one.